Winning
Pick
Weekly.
Smith for the win.
Raisi K.
Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Winning Picks Weekly. This is the college football episode. It is week 7. Greg still has the Penn State background.
Still got it.
And we are rolling into this week's college slate. We are in the thick of things with this. Every day there's football. Sometimes I forget. I'm like, oh my God, there's nothing to do today. But I'm like, oh no, wait. There's football on every day. I got to find which game is on. I'm going to know the team, right? Friday, we have a gauntlet of games that I can't wait to watch. I can't believe Deion Sanders is on a Friday night. We'll get into all that.
Crazy.
A couple of teams fell off. I can't wait to talk about that. There's a couple of huge marquee games that I've been waiting for months. And like right before we get into the games, real quick, like everybody talks about how college is better than pro sports, right? NBA, football, and I get it. I get where you stand there. But you know what really pisses me off, man? Like last year, when I'm so excited to go to UCLA, USC, and I'm waiting for it all year, and then all of a sudden UCLA loses the last game right before, and now it doesn't matter anymore. Like that just doesn't happen anywhere else, right? And now this week, I've been waiting so long for Notre Dame, USC, and all of a sudden, boom. This game doesn't really matter, or maybe it kind of matters if Notre Dame just tries to get a bowl game, out of this. Like, it's just so frustrating. But anyway, you guys want to get straight into Friday night here? There's so many good games. I really want to hear what you guys have to say. And Greg, I'm just going to start with you. I know you have a take on Colorado. Just give me what you got on Colorado, and let's just start there.
Yeah, I mean, real quick, I got to throw it in. It's my apology bet of the week, Thursday night, West Virginia. I'm throwing that in -3 against Houston. Chip has been saying Houston's bad all year. I've been saying West Virginia's bad all year. They actually might not be as bad as I thought they were. So I have the under on them for the season. I think they've been looking a little bit better, at least than I expected. So I'm throwing them in Thursday night, tonight, -3. Start up in a little bit here. For Colorado, I'm having a tough time with it, John. I was going to kind of lean on you to guide me in the right direction, but I like Stanford -11.5. Like Colorado, Shedeur Sanders was doing all the celebrating last week. They didn't cover 4.5 against Arizona State. Now, so you're going to cover 11 against Stanford. I get that Stanford's not very good. I don't know if Arizona State's very good. I don't know if Colorado's very good at this point. I'm not sure what I'm getting with Colorado. So to me, 11.5 points. I feel like on a late night on a Friday, why not? Why not take the points and just hope for a close game? I don't know if Colorado is really the type of team that can bury teams and put people away. At least that's not what I've seen the last 2 weeks. So, let me go Stanford +11.5. But I want to hear what you think about this game. You've been the Colorado Whisperer all season.
Yeah, well, first of all, you didn't even mention the other team at all. Stanford absolutely stinks. Like
they're terrible.
The only 2 games they've been a part of. Well, first of all, they lost to Sacramento State. Let's just start there, right? Right. Then they kept it close versus Hawaii, like 2 touchdown game. Lost to Arizona by 1, and then got smacked by USC and Oregon. Like, honestly, this is 11.5 is easy. I'm sticking with the first half. Colorado -6.5. I think you're thinking too much into it. Colorado wasn't supposed to win last week. I know they were favored, but was Sanders Jr. out last week too? Like Travis Hunter's probably going to be back this week. I think Colorado is going to be back. Actually, I was saying that the last couple of weeks people are going to start falling off of Colorado. And Greg, I can't believe you're the one that fell off. You're supposed to be the one that was on board. This is a great week for Colorado. Friday Night Lights. They're going to get on the board here, and they're gonna smack Stanford. I love 1.5. I love -6.5 in the first half. I'll take -11.5. I think it's gonna be a rout. I'm not because the worst part about the Colorado team are their linebackers, is their defense. I'm not worried about Stanford. They suck. Like Colorado is gonna absolutely gash them, and their defense isn't good either. So yeah,
I just feel like they play. I just feel like Colorado's one of those teams that plays to their competition, though. They've only beat one team by 11 points all season, and it's Nebraska. So, yeah, I agree. They're gonna beat Stanford for sure. I just don't know if there's gonna be some garbage time touchdowns. Like, I don't know if Colorado's gonna only score 21 points. Like, I don't know. I just feel like they don't blow out teams. They've only done it once all season.
There's plenty of time for Colorado to fall off. Like, they're playing UCLA next week. That's going to be a tough game. Then they're playing Oregon State, tough game. And then they got Wazoo in a couple weeks, ended with Utah. Like, there's plenty of time to fade Colorado here. This for me just isn't the game. I think they're going to back Stanford. This might be their last best game of the year. It's possible. Like, this is it. And Travis Hunter, I really do think is going to come back for this game. Chip's been quiet
what do you think?
the entire time. 5 minutes in, Chip hasn't said a word. What do you got on Colorado?
I don't like this game.
I know.
I don't like it at all. I like the under just because Stanford's so bad. And I'm with Greg in that I don't really trust Colorado to blow anybody out. So I kind of like the under in that I wouldn't be surprised if Colorado had like a weird offensive game where, they don't really put two halves together consistently and play well the entire game against like a bad team. Right. So I don't know. I don't trust either one of the. I know Stanford's bad and I know Colorado's good, but are they really going to come out and hang 50 on Stanford on a Friday night? Like, who knows? They're an inconsistent team. They're very talented, but I don't know. You said Hunter's coming back, but it's his first game back. Is he really going to play every single snap against Stanford? Like, I hope not for his sake. He shouldn't. Yeah, I'll take, if I'm going to bet that game, which I don't know if I will yet, because I'd rather bet the Memphis against Tulane on Friday night. I'd take the under.
I'm switching my pick to the under. Chip, you convinced me on that. Talk to me about that Tulane game because I'm betting that as well. I want to know your thoughts.
I have Memphis plus 4.5 against Tulane.
Oh my God!
You have Tulane.
Not only do I love Tulane here, Chip, but the whole public is on Memphis. It's crazy.
Yeah, why are you liking Memphis? So talk me out of it. I'm a little concerned now. Why do you like Memphis? Because it seems like everyone likes
money.
Memphis.
And Chip, tell us why.
I didn't even know that 90% of the money. I honestly didn't look into the money on that. That does scare me that many people are on Memphis, but I don't know, man. I looked like Memphis played Missouri really tough. I kind of like that. Tulane, I had big expectations for Tulane this season. I know they lost the Ole Miss. Ole Miss is obviously pretty good. They lost to Ole Miss, but I don't know. It's another one of those things where I'm like, oh, why is it only 4.5? Like Tulane, to me, it feels like based on Tulane's reputation, they should be better. They should be favored by more. And then I look at Memphis and it's like, oh shit, Memphis is 4-1. I didn't think Memphis was that good. And then it's like, oh, I don't know. I like Memphis here. I'm just surprised that it was 4.5. And I don't know. I don't think Tulane's as good as they were. I think they took a little bit of a step back, and I think Memphis has a chance to pull an upset here.
Greg,
are you guys just on Tulane because so many people have Memphis?
No, I've been loving Tulane all year.
Yeah, 2 years now running, so it's tough. I mean, I just feel like Memphis hasn't played anyone really great. Like, they were close with Missouri. That's true. But that's really about it. Look at their schedule. I know their offense is good, but again, I don't know if that's a symptom of they just haven't played anyone tough. Like, I think this Green Wave defense is pretty good.
But Tulane hasn't played anyone very good except Ole Miss, and Ole Miss beat them pretty bad, right?
Yeah, they were without their quarterback though. Who's back and playing well. So yeah, I mean 4.5 points under a touchdown. I like Tulane in this one. It worries me a little bit that Memphis is home and they have a pretty good offense, kind of a little bit of a standalone game. I'm sure a lot of people will be watching 7:00 on a Friday. So 4-1. Yeah, it's kind of impressive, but I just think Tulane's defense is a little bit better. I think their offense can go toe-to-toe with Memphis, so give me Tulane minus 4.5 in that one.
Yeah, I absolutely love the Green Wave here, and honestly, this is going to be a rematch in the AAC championship. It's going to be Tulane versus Memphis. So
yeah,
this kind of does feel like Oklahoma, Texas to me, where I'm gonna like Tulane, and even if I lose, I'm gonna like Tulane again in the championship, just like I did with Texas. So we'll see what happens here. Anyone have another Friday night game?
I got Fresno -4. I think it might be a rat line, it might be a trap line, I might be missing something. I just think Fresno is head and shoulders better than Utah State. I'm not sure why it's only 4. 4.5. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's only 4.5. I think maybe because Fresno lost last week, I believe.
Yeah, to Wyoming.
Yeah, and then
game,
Utah State won. So maybe it's a little bit of like one team's riding hot, one team's riding cold, but I think Fresno State bounces back in a big way against Utah State here.
They have to. And right now, in order to make the Mountain West, they have to. I mean, Air Force is undefeated. And now, because they fumbled last week, unfortunately, Fresno literally has to win this game. I love Fresno. Fresno -4.5. I'm taking it as well. I can't believe
on the line.
I've never had this many games on a Friday night, and I love all three of them, which is scary as hell. But I love them.
Wow. You guys are taking all these weekday games, and I'm only taking the one on Friday night. It's usually the opposite. I
know, it's very weird. Very weird.
I know. I tweeted out yours talk about feeling a little worried and stuff. I tweeted out last week. I think I went 4-0 in the 1 o'clock or the noon slate. And I was like, that's a bad recipe for the rest of the afternoon. I think I went 0-4 in the 7 o'clock slate. So, sometimes you got to trust your gut, John, when you're feeling a little worried about something. You might have to switch things up. So, again, follow us on Twitter, Winning Pete Weekly, Chip Murphy 7. We'll be tweeting everything out. We'll be keeping everyone updated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, let's jump straight into this Saturday noon. And again, a really weird week because this is where I usually excel, where at least the bulk of my card is. And this week, you guessed it, I have a total of 2 games. So one of them is Rutgers. I'll just start there. So I can get Chip all excited. Chip, we got Michigan State coming to Piscataway. Everyone making fun of Piscataway. Rutgers been pretty good. They let me down
Michigan
one.
State stinks. Yeah.
They've been pretty good. I'm taking them -4.5. Michigan State is not even a football team. They remind me a lot of Northwestern this year. Are we riding high with Rutgers? There might be some rain in Piscataway.
I like the under.
I think that works for Rutgers. If it rains, I think that's good for Rutgers. If it rains,
yeah.
What'd you say, Greg?
They can't throw the ball anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Chip. Like if it's raining, I think that helps Rutgers. It's only 4.5, so it made me think about Rutgers a little bit. But I like the under. I like under 40 in this one. I think it's low scoring. I think it's going to be like Saturday. People 2 weeks ago were talking about what an incredible slate of games there were. I think this slate is right up there with some of these big time schools, sometimes these big time games. Like noon, there's a lot of games I'm going to be watching, mainly for covers, I guess. So maybe that's why it's not as great. But there's a lot of big time games going on. I think Rutgers is just going to be on in the background. You're going to be surprised like once a quarter if you see a score. So give me the under 40 in that one, while these other big time Big Ten schools are just throwing the ball over the field.
Yeah. I've made the mistake of Rutgers over once this year. I won't make it again. Not to get the Rutgers over. Yeah, but I'm with you, John. I'm going to take Rutgers spread. There's not many opportunities to bet Rutgers as a favorite. But against Michigan State, I'm pretty comfortable doing it. Especially in Piscataway. I think they'll be able to cover that one. Michigan State is just a nightmare. So
everybody making fun of Piscataway now. It jumped up to 5.
No one's making fun of New Jersey. Who's making fun of New Jersey?
Well, every time they talk about the conference changes, like, oh, now we have to fly all the way to Piscataway. That's always the headline.
Oh, well,
now they're actually winning games.
Oregon and California too. Have fun with that.
I know.
Yeah. So.
I love Oregon. -5. Rutgers -5. I'm down. Let's keep it rolling. That's just a good sign for me. Let's just keep rolling towards me. They want to bet me out. I'm not going anywhere. All right. Give me another game here for noon.
Purdue against Ohio State +19.5. Maybe I'm falling into the trap because of how Ohio State has looked.
You are.
I guess I am, but
are you falling into the trap of last year, maybe? Because they beat them last year, didn't they? Was that 2 years ago?
Purdue did not. I don't think they beat them last year. No.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, I'll look that up.
Yeah, look it up. No, I don't think they beat them last year, but no, maybe you're right, Greg. Maybe I am falling into the trap of what happened last week with Ohio
2018.
State.
2018.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2021 they lost.
Yeah, because every once in a while Purdue would beat somebody good.
Yeah.
That was their whole thing. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe Purdue's offense looked really good against Cuse. I think their offense is good. They have a good quarterback. Ohio State, I still don't buy it. Like, I still think they can be scored on. I don't think their offense is very good. They have an amazing wide receiver. I still don't think their quarterback's very good. I think Purdue can cover 19.5 points.
Yeah.
I don't think Ohio State should be favored by that many points against a lot of teams. So, yeah, I like that one. I'm pretty confident in the Purdue line actually there.
Yeah, I like that. And to rephrase what I was thinking of, the last time they were at home versus Ohio State, they beat them. And this is at home versus Ohio State.
Oh, they haven't been at home against Ohio State since 2018. Oh.
Yeah, they only played one more time in between. They lost 59-31.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's pretty straightforward. It's like the transitive property bet here. Last week, I was riding Purdue. John talked me into him against Iowa's backup quarterback. I thought that was a smart play. They absolutely had no shot at beating or then covering against Iowa's backup quarterback.
So bad.
So now I'm going to be laying or getting 20 points with Purdue against Ohio State, the second best team, top 3 team in the country. No thanks.
I don't know about all that.
On top
Top
of that,
3 in the country.
I think they are. Definitely.
We got Michigan 1.
Georgia, Michigan, Oklahoma, Texas.
I don't know.
I'm not
about
putting
Georgia.
Oklahoma.
You're not
don't know
putting
about
Oklahoma.
Georgia?
I don't know about Georgia.
Oh my god.
I don't know about Georgia.
I put Penn State over Ohio State right now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. First of all, Penn State right above Michigan and
So they're the
State.
third best
What are
team
you
in the
talking
Big
about?
Ten.
All right. Yeah, Penn State above Michigan. Sounds good.
Either way,
Penn
back
State
to the
above
point
Michigan. Take
point
it
at hand.
easy.
Chip talked me out of betting Maryland last week, who was like a 19, 18, 17 point spread against Ohio State. And it saved me. Maryland had no shot. It was a
I
great
told you,
call
Greg.
by Chip. He talked me out of it.
No, I have no insight. I was just like, Greg, it's Maryland.
Yeah,
Like,
and
what are you doing?
again, by the transitive property, it's Maryland is better, much better than Purdue. Like Maryland head to head would beat Purdue by 2 touchdowns.
It'll be close.
2 touchdowns.
Nah,
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think-
So
I think
either
it
way,
would be minus 5.5.
and I think Maryland would cover easy. Maryland can throw the ball. Purdue can't do anything. Purdue stinks. Give me Ohio State minus 19. My first best bet of the day. My spite pick of the day.
wow.
Because I hate Purdue so much after last week. It was
Okay.
disgusting.
So I'm going head to head with you this week.
Yep.
Purdue plus 19.5. Ohio State. Okay.
hit the
Big
bell.
time bet.
I'll stay away. I have a lean, but I'll stay away. I'll let you guys fight this one out.
We talked
Somebody
about
give me another
Rutgers.
noon.
Yeah, Michigan minus 33.5. My fourth best team in the country right now.
Wow, I'm just shocked to be in your top 5.
Wait, who's won if it's not Georgia?
It might be Ohio. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Penn State, Florida State. I don't know. Give me Michigan minus 33.5. Chip has talked about it all season. I agree with him. Indiana stinks. This is more of an Indiana stinks bet
Yeah, Indiana.
than Michigan is good bet, even though Michigan obviously is good. I just think they're going to absolutely kill Indiana. I think Indiana, even though they haven't really been good, especially at football, still has a little cachet, still has a little brand recognition, name recognition. I think Michigan on a big stage at home wants to bury them. Give me minus 33.5. I think that's going to be 40-0 game.
Yeah,
at noon.
I'm telling you on that one. I don't like the Indiana coach. There's something like off-putting about that guy.
Yeah,
and I just like to see them lose for whatever. It's Indiana football. You shouldn't care, but I don't know. I don't like them, and Michigan is going to crush them.
Yep.
Yeah, I got Michigan minus 9.5 first quarter.
Oh, that's a good one too.
And you could if we were talking a little bit off air about some like long parlays that I take for like very, very minimal amounts of money. And then when I do that, I start throwing in win like outright plus the spread, and then second quarter to win. Like you can start doing those in FanDuel to kind of just accumulate if you just think Michigan's gonna roll. So if you add up all 5-6 bets, it comes to all the minuses. It ends up being like a little bit of a normal bet. Just that's what I do when it's like I don't want 33.5 versus Indiana. I just don't want it. I'd rather just try to find something, that I could just win with, like first quarter, second quarter, first half. That's kind of how I roll.
I get that, but I think Greg is right. I think it's very possible Indiana might not score a point in this game.
Very true.
Like, Michigan could shut them out.
Oh, it's probably going to happen. If I can find a shutout bet, I probably will take it also.
Yeah, John, I know you could do that. And my buddy had it last week with Georgia. He had like Georgia first quarter, Georgia first half, Georgia second half, Georgia like full game, all parlayed. It was like plus 400.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, and it was just like, all right, I think Georgia's going to kill them.
I think it was DraftKings. He had it.
FanDuel, you can do it.
Yeah, it was crazy. And I mean, it sucked because I liked Kentucky. So I was like, oh man, I don't know about this. And then it just turned out to be right. They absolutely killed Kentucky. So
yeah, like so I have a parlay that includes Michigan first quarter spread -6.5, Michigan to win the first half, Alabama to win the first half, Georgia to win the first half, also Alabama to win the game, Georgia to win the game, and then I have a bunch of other bets in there. Like just, you know what I mean? Just to kind of make them like viable, because I'm not taking Alabama -10,000 or Georgia -30,000 to win. You know what I mean? So at least it becomes a little bit more viable.
Yeah, in the NFL this year, I started doing like the first half, second half winners, and I started doing that more. Like if I think a team's gonna absolutely kill someone, I'll take like the Miami Dolphins first half, second half, and it just gives you a little bit better than money line. Yeah,
we'll talk about the NFL stuff on the episode coming up because we have a huge NFL slate. Tune in for that Winning Picks Weekly. And speaking of a big game that nobody's going to care about except for me, right, and us on this pod, but really, I don't know if this is going to get the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift ratings. But this is the Fun Belt East showdown of the week. JMU, who cannot make a bowl, who still cannot win the conference, versus Georgia State. Oh, Georgia Southern.
Yep.
Georgia Southern can indeed win the conference. Georgia Southern getting +5.5. I'll admit it here, right? This is the honesty show. I've been watching way more Georgia Southern than I have JMU. I've been kind of scoreboard watching JMU, more than actually watching those games. I just don't tune in. But Georgia Southern, I've been all over them all year, and they've been crushing for me. Including last game versus Coastal, that was a great one. Now they're off a bye. Georgia Southern, honestly, fighting for their life here. They don't need to win to make the conference finals, but it would really, really help. I love Georgia Southern +5.5. I might dabble on the money line, but I'm scared of JMU a little bit because I don't really know my enemy. I just know they're undefeated and I scoreboard watch them. But I'm going to take the 5.5 here.
James Madison, they might be the best Group of 5 team in the country, right? Like they're really, really good. Yeah.
Have you been watching their game?
Troy. No, I watched the Virginia game where they beat Virginia, and I know they beat Troy. I know they beat South Alabama. I'm pretty sure they're undefeated, right? Aren't they 5-0?
Yeah, 5-0.
Yeah, they're really, really good. But
yeah, see, I don't know if they are, but again, I don't know my enemy. That's why I'm not taking the money line. I'm just taking Georgia Southern to keep it close because I like Georgia Southern, and they need it for the conference. But again, JMU is new to the conference, so is it really a conference game yet? You know what I mean? Like, does it have that connotation yet? Because they're new. Like, they can't even win the conference. They're so new, which is the dumbest rule ever.
Yeah, I don't know if there's that big time rivalry yet, but
no, just like keeping it close.
Off a bye. JMU coming off a bye.
Oh, so is Georgia Southern.
I know it's weird because I don't want to go against you because I don't know. You know what? I'm going to take Georgia Southern.
I admittedly don't know what I'm getting from JMU. I've just been scoreboard watching them every week.
I haven't been paying attention to JMU recently, I just remember they didn't cover against because they were favored against Virginia at Virginia. I remember the opening game, and they only won by 1. They won at like the end of the game, and I remember being impressed watching them though. It was like, oh, a Sun Belt team just beat an ACC team, no matter how bad Virginia is. They were really good. I remember that. And they also, I just looked their schedule. They beat Troy and South Alabama, who are both highly regarded
Really good.
too. So James Madison is clearly good. I don't know though. You make some good points about Georgia Southern. I kind of want to take them 5.5. So I think I may have to do that now.
I guess Georgia Southern 3-0-2 against the spread, man. They haven't let me down. They're fine.
Yeah.
80%. At worst, they're just gonna tie for you, bro. They're killing it. I love them. All right. I'm done with the noon game. What do you guys got?
Last noon game for me, Florida State minus 17.5 against Syracuse. Had UNC minus 9.5 last week. It's one of the easier games I had. Not sure what happened with Syracuse. I didn't think they were going to cover 10. I didn't think they were going to lose by 30 though. Now you have to travel from Carolina, getting absolutely smoked to Florida State for a noon game. A lot of travel. They played Clemson 2 weeks ago, and I feel like that kind of took a lot out of them. And it's just a tough spot. It's a tough spot. I think Florida State's better than North Carolina, and you're only giving them an extra touchdown to cover. I think they're going to cover that with ease. Give me Florida State minus 17.5.
Yeah, I'm off Cuse for a while. Cuse is about to go through a Dino Babers special couple weeks where he just gets his teams are underprepared and he gets out coached, and he's just facing better coaching competition for a while, and he's going to get embarrassed. So I'm off.
He'll bounce back first week in November against Boston College.
Yes, exactly. They'll get that one, and they'll become bowl eligible because they win games like that. So
yeah, they'll rattle off Boston College at home against Pitt, and then they'll go to Georgia Tech and win that game. And all of a sudden, they're back for a bowl.
See you at the Pinstripe Bowl, Chip.
They never beat Pitt, but they play Pitt at Yankee Stadium this year, which is I'm thinking about going to that one. That could be actually.
Yeah, they'll be back for the Pitt. They'll be back for.
And they would love to have Cuse the Pinstripe Bowl. The people who do it.
Did we just predict the first bowl game of the season? We might have.
Oh, I mean, the people who do Pinstripe Bowl would love to have Cuse Rutgers. That they would actually get fans to go if they had Cuse Rutgers. But
Rutgers might be making a play for something better than the Pinstripe. We'll see.
Once they get to that Big Ten schedule, the heart of that Big Ten schedule, I think they're going to be clinging on to getting that 6th win. But no, I'm passing on that Cuse. That Greg's probably got the right idea. FSU will probably stomp him pretty good. But my last 12 p.m. game is like a hold your nose pick because I don't love it because I don't.
Tell me Vanderbilt. If it's Vanderbilt, we're gonna have
to. God, I would never bet against.
Okay,
Georgia.
Thank God.
But I am betting against Saban. I'm taking Arkansas plus 20.5, and I have dogged Arkansas on this podcast before, which is why I'm holding my nose and taking this one. And Greg is nodding his head because he knows that I've said that before. And because I'm betting, I know Greg doesn't really bet against Saban, and that's what I'm doing because I don't bet against Saban. But at Alabama, I don't know. Look, I know I sound crazy betting against Saban. I always feel like that. I have a feeling about this one. Something I saw the Arkansas game. I was like, plus 20.5. That seems like a lot. I don't think Alabama should be favored by that much.
That's a fair thought, though. That alone is.
Just because they haven't looked that good. They're not Alabama. They're not Alabama. I know. Look, like I said, I've dogged Arkansas on this podcast, but I don't know. I mean, it's not easy. It hasn't been easy for Alabama to score 20 points. Yeah. So are they going to win 21-0? I mean, I don't think their defense isn't good enough to shut a team out. So what do they think they're going to score? Like, I don't know. I think it's not my best bet of the day, but I like Arkansas plus 20.5 against Bama.
All right.
Yeah, I saw the spread. I thought it was a lot. I was like, oh, it's too many points for me to take Alabama. No way I'm taking Arkansas. I was interested in what you thought about the game. I was thinking if I was going to take anything, I was thinking under 46, Chip, to your point. Neither of these offenses have looked pretty impressive. But then again, 46 is kind of a low number for like an SEC football game. So
that's another thing, right? I was like, Jesus, 46 in a Bama game. Like,
I
Bama
agree.
used to be able to score 46 by themselves. Remember those days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
2
with
years
their
ago,
eyes
it was like
closed.
10.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
All right. Anything else for noon?
Nope.
Chip, start us off with the mid-afternoon games here. But before, actually, real quick, guys, is it a pet peeve of yours that there's no like anytime touchdown props for college, or do I just miss them? Like, why can't I just take Keon Coleman to get 2 touchdowns tomorrow? Like in Florida State, or is that anywhere and I just don't know?
I gotta be honest, I almost never take player props in college.
I don't think
games,
it's in
so
New
I don't
York.
know.
In Jersey, it exists. I will make
I
sure when
don't
I'm in
know.
Jersey to look.
I
Because
don't know.
in New York, I take anytime touchdown parlays with NFL.
Sure. Yeah, I don't. It's either two things. It's either one, you can't do it in New York
Or
for
just college,
regulation
you know.
reasons, or two, it's like too many. There's like too many players to put lines out for, and the books would absolutely get smashed. So they just don't allow prop bets like that on
Gotcha.
college games.
That makes sense.
All right.
Um,
Sorry. Afternoon, Chip.
But I would love to take some anytime touchdown bets. You and me both.
Oh my
man.
god! Because
Yeah.
you know, when the anytime touchdown bets for the week for NFL come out, you know, I just like to dabble, take a
Sure.
$1. It would like it only needs 8 of them to for the max bet. Like you just got 8 players to get a touchdown.
I would
But-
take Garrett Schrader on an anytime touchdown every single week for him to run it in for a touchdown because he'd be
Yeah.
plus money. It's not worth going into now. Would have missed all the good opportunities. But I'm really looking forward to the Oregon-Washington game.
Sure.
That's probably game of the day. I don't want to take a side in that because I don't want to stress over it. I just want to enjoy watching the game. So I'm going to take the over 67.5 and just hope that there's fireworks. Hope there's a bunch of points scored. I hope Penix and John's boy Bo Nix both have great games. I'm just hoping for a lot of points. Over in Washington, Oregon, 67.5.
Greg.
I got Washington in that one. I just think it's a home team -3. Like Penix,
2.5
I'm
now.
3.5 or 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah. So even better. I think both these offenses are going to score. If I was going to take a total, it would be the over for sure. It's a Chip's point. Just want a good game here. But I just think that if Washington's going to make a move, it's right here. It's right now. You're at home. You got Oregon, who's, you guys are two of the better teams in the Pac-12. So now's your chance to strike if you're going to strike this season. If you lose this game, you need a lot of things to happen to get it back and claw your way back in the Pac-12. So give me Washington -2.5 here.
All right. I mean, you guys know where I'm going here. Like I've been loving Washington all year. I love Penix. I love Romo Odunze, as I like to call him, Odunze, as I like to call him. Washington is they're really good. Their defense is not as bad as USC, but their defense is still bad. You know who doesn't have a bad unit? Oregon. Oregon is set. They have 5-star recruits everywhere, all over their defense. Their defense is unbelievable. Their offensive line is unbelievable. Their quarterback is unbelievable. Their wide receivers are unbelievable. Like, do you see where I'm going here? I think Oregon is going to kill Washington. It's going to be a fun game, though. I hope the over hits. Both teams are really fun. I think that Washington is going to get some nice big chunk yards on Oregon, and they're going to make some fun plays. But, dude, Oregon's going to run away. Oregon this week is going to show the country that they belong in the playoffs because they're going to win. They're going to beat Washington, and then we'll talk about it in a second. But USC is going to go down. And if both of those things happen, all of a sudden, Oregon is like in a different plateau than those teams. Like, like they're not even close, right? Because just of how crazy college football is. And if you lose
you're
one,
talking college football playoff at that point, then.
It's just one. It's just one. All it needs to happen is one thing. Like you win the game. Yeah. That it's +2.5. Not that crazy. USC losers, which we'll talk about it, are underdogs on the road. Yeah. All of a sudden, Oregon playoffs, and now we're talking about what's left with Washington, USC. Are their quarterbacks going to even play? Like how Penix's injury history? Should we just save him for the NFL? Like that's where they're going to start. I know it sounds crazy, but I really do think that this is the the weekend of reckoning. I think Bo Nix finally gets on the board, but I was wrong about Sam Hartman. So we'll see. Like I thought Sam Hartman, Notre Dame, I did not think they were going to fall asleep last week. I really didn't think that. So versus Louisville, but maybe that's a testament to Louisville. We'll get into that as well. So we'll see. I love Oregon. Give me Oregon. I need them for everything. I have them everywhere, man. I have them in my features. I have them for this game. I have Bo Nix, Heisman. I have Bo Nix on Mojo. I need Oregon. There's nothing more to it. I need Oregon this week. But I have Penix too. But I love Washington. They're cool. But I love.
Yeah.
I need Oregon.
I'm going a little bit. Yeah, 3:00. So I'll go a little rapid fire here. Maryland -14. I just think that we've talked about some really bad teams. And I think that Illinois fits that category as really bad teams. I think they bounce back here, -14 at home against Illinois. Kansas -3. And I'm not sure exactly how I feel about this. I've been betting Kansas and Kentucky every week. Kentucky could not get it done against Georgia last week. Kansas was able to get it done against UCF, though. They absolutely killed them the first half, had their worst, their UCF had their worst first half performance last week in seasons. So Kansas ranked now nationally on the road against Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, Chip and I wrote them off last week.
Oh.
They came back in a big way against K-State and ended up getting that win. I just don't know if they can do it 2 weeks in a row. I kind of feel bad. I felt dirty betting against Gundy after talking up Gundy for years now. And he just absolutely kicked me in the teeth last week, rightfully so. He's not done. I just don't know about 2 weeks in a row. I think Kansas is hot. I think Kansas is rolling. So give me Kansas in that one. And then my second best bet of the day here, Penn State under 54.5. I think they're absolutely. I mean, they obviously are going to absolutely kill UMass.
Mhm.
I think this is just like can Penn State Penn State keep it themselves under 54.5? There's a chance they score 60. Like Franklin is going all in for the spread. The spread's 42. It's very clear that he knows the spread. It's very clear he wants to cover the spread. The question is, once you get to 42 points, could he take his foot off the gas a little bit and keep it under 54? I just don't think UMass is scoring anything. So Penn State at home, 3:30, kind of just like a game that no one's gonna watch, no one's gonna tune into because it's gonna be such a massacre. I don't think Penn State is gonna rub it in UMass's face and drop 60 on them. So give me the under 54.5.
I'm gonna be tuning in, and I need a massacre because I got Penn State first quarter -9.5.
Okay.
Another first quarter, huh? You got first quarters in all the Big Ten games?
I got first quarter here. I got
or just Michigan and Penn State?
Just Michigan, Penn State. And I mean, and then I threw in Colorado. I got Tulane. I got Louisville. And then I got a couple first halves. I got Colorado first half, Georgia first half, Bama first half, Louisville first half, Tulane first half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's one of those games where I'm hoping like Drew Aller's like sitting on the sidelines the whole fourth quarter. And it's just the backup quarterbacks in the whole fourth.
He's gonna have to do something big in the first quarter for me though. First,
yeah, let's go 3 touchdowns, a quick 21-0 first quarter, and then just coast in the second half.
But in that same vein, Chip, I actually have Utah -6.5 first half as well.
Oh, okay.
So that's my last thing in the afternoon.
Chip, you got anything else in that 3:00 slate, 3:30 slate?
The over in A&M against Tennessee. Is it 55.5? I think Tennessee comes out, scores a bunch of points in that one. A&M's offense actually, as much of a disaster as they were at the end of the game, as much of a disaster as Jimbo was at the end of the game, their offense did impress me at points in that one.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be able to score. I think Tennessee is going to score, obviously, I think a bunch of points. They're at home. I think they'll win. They're 3-point favorites, so I was thinking about taking them too, adding -3 and the over 55.5. But I'm not sure I'm comfortable enough with Tennessee to take them to win and take the over. But I am comfortable that there's going to be points scored. So I'm taking the over 55.5 there. Bowling Green plus 4.5 against Buffalo.
Yeah.
No. Well,
I just
I
hate
don't know.
Bowling Green, and I've been betting against them, and they killed me one time. Now they even piss me off even more. I just hate Bowling Green.
I like Bowling Green, so I'm taking.
Fair.
I'm the
Fair enough.
opposite. I like Bowling Green.
Ugh,
Bowling
it wouldn't bother
Green,
me.
and what was the Army was playing Troy? Yeah, Army
Troy.
plus 5.5 at home against Troy. They look good against Boston College. Should have won that game. I think this is a get right spot for them.
That'd be great for me. That'd be great
And
for me because Troy's killing me in the Fun Belt.
Yeah, I think Army could win that game. And Ohio plays Northern Illinois. Ohio minus 6.5 against Northern Illinois. Ohio is awesome. I think Ohio's going to win the MAC.
I have that too.
Yeah. That's my last.
All right.
Afternoon
5
game, right?
o'clock.
Yeah.
Real quick, John, before we get to the late night games, 5 o'clock. I have a system play for everyone. It's strictly a system bet. This isn't my opinions. This is just math and facts. UNLV 5-0 against the spread. Nevada 0-5 against the spread. Have to take it. UNLV minus 9.5 on the road.
There's so many though.
It's a system pick.
So
what do we
many
think of
points.
Iowa, Wisconsin?
Take the under. Can't do
Under
it though. It's 35.5. I think
I want to take the under. I want to take the under so bad in that game.
I did
feel like-
it. I did it a couple weeks ago. Just out of principle, I saw a 30 number. I was like, oh, I'll take the under in that. And it was like over in like the first half. And I was like,
I know. I
this is
feel
the
like every
dumbest
time I
bet.
take an Iowa under, it goes way over.
Yeah. Last year we were pretty good at it. Last year we rode that for a while. But when it gets this low, 35, it's like one, not even like a fluke play. It's like 140-yard completion and you're in trouble. Yeah.
Makes me want to take the over, but
Yeah.
that means it'll be a 6-3 game. So I've got,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm debating. Maybe I end up taking the over, but I was also 10-point dogs against Wisconsin, which I think is wild. Like Wisconsin's some great offense. They've been average.
Yeah, and yeah, like again,
No.
if 35 points are being expected to be scored in this game and you're getting 10, it's so hard not to take Iowa in that spot.
So hard. I know John's about to say their quarterback stinks. I know he's about to say that.
Listen, man, there's
Let's
no
back
bigger
up.
Iowa fan than me. I love all their position players. I just hate their quarterback.
Yeah.
They're like, if I could draw up the New York Jets and put them in college, it would literally be Iowa. Like, it drives me nuts. Like, I don't want to watch it. I'm already in enough pain.
I'm not saying I'm gonna watch the whole game or anything. Yeah.
It just drives me nuts, dude. I love their tight ends. I love their running backs. I fall in love with their punters and their linebackers. Like, it's disgusting. Like, I just, for one time, I want to just love their quarterback, but they suck. Like,
The fact that their big solution was Michigan's backup who got benched last year.
They
That's
need
who
to
they
do
thought was
something.
going to save him.
they need to do something like get a Sam Hartman 1 year. Like, they need to somehow
Oh, man,
convince
that would
a
be-
Bo Nix to come through. Like, that's the only way that they'll. So the transfer portal might be good to them, but dude, Iowa just sucks.
Oh, the Big Ten
Amen.
West sucks. So
All right, I'm gonna jump here to the 7 o'clock. We mentioned Louisville. I'm taking them first quarter, first half, full game. I am riding with Louisville. Maybe I'm being a dummy here, right? Because they won last week. But dude, I just hate Pitt so much. I don't know why it's minus 7.5, and I also don't know why 91% of the money and 73% of the bets are on Pitt. It makes no sense to me. Don't get
Is
it
it-
at all.
people think Louisville's going to lay an egg, I guess. But
Dude, I don't know.
have
Pittsburgh
they been
sucks.
watching Pitt?
They suck. I don't know. I admittedly I haven't been watching Louisville that much. Last week I sure as hell watched a lot of more Louisville than I have all year. I have been watching Pitt. I love Louisville. I'm just taking them all the way. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I love Louisville. I'm taking them all the way through.
Easy. Agree with you. Didn't Jerkovic get benched and moved to like tight end or something? That's how bad he was.
So bad.
I don't understand that many people taking Pitt either. I'm with you 100% on Louisville. Louisville, I was totally wrong about. Completely 100% wrong about Louisville. And I guess people think they're going to lay an egg after the big ND win, play down to their competition because Pitt does stink.
Yep.
But no, I don't buy that. Braum is I was totally wrong about Braum too. I didn't think he had it in him to coach this team this well in his first year, and he's clearly a elite coach or legit coach, whatever. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm taking Louisville here.
Greg, what do you got?
LSU over 60.5. I think they can score 60 on their own against Auburn. I think Auburn put up a decent fight against oh god, who was it? It was Georgia. Yeah, Georgia last week. They were in that game 20-27. They ended up losing late, but they were in that game all game. I think LSU's offense is just tremendous, and I think their defense stinks. So I think that's a recipe for an over. I think they've scored like 49 points themselves in the last 2 games. So, maybe Auburn's defense is a little bit better than the defenses they've played lately, and Ole Miss, and I'm blanking on the other school that they played recently, but 60 just seems low. 60.5 just seems a little too low for me. So I like that. I also like Washington State bouncing back -7.5 against Arizona. I think Arizona was in a dogfight for 3 overtimes against USC last week in a late game. And now all of a sudden you got to go to Washington State. Washington State is hungry after that UCLA loss. So give me Washington State -7.5 on the gray field.
Can we just talk about Arizona for a second, though? Because I'm with you on that. But, dude, they've been in some dog fights, dude.
Yeah.
Like, the USC won 43-41. Lost to Washington 31-24. That was plus 19.5. USC was plus 20.5, right? Beat Stanford by 1. They were minus 12.5. Not great. Smacked UTEP. Lost to Mississippi State. Covered. They by 1 point, but they covered. And they smacked Northern Arizona to start the year. I mean, they've been pretty scrappy. Arizona scares me. When I was looking at that game, I get your thinking. Honestly, I really do. And I agree with Y and Wazoo, but it just scared me. Arizona's been scrappy with every team they played.
Yeah, I think I've had Arizona. I had them last week for sure. I might have had them.
They're scary.
I had Washington 2 weeks ago. I saw them play. I was like, Arizona's better than what people expect. I had them last week. I just don't know if they can do it 3 weeks in a row. I mean, you just got through the gauntlet of Washington and USC. And like I said, USC was 3 overtimes. I think that's just I just don't know how long you can keep it going. Unless Arizona is like very good and they're going to end up being like one of the best like 6-6 teams in the country. Maybe they just are that good. They just played a bad schedule, or they're the Pac-12, so it's just a tough schedule. And but yeah, going into the season, I don't think anyone had very many expectations for this Arizona team. They have played their hearts out. They've played tremendous. I just don't think you can do it 3 weeks in a row on the road too. It's just tough.
All right. Chip, what do you got for us?
Another night game. I hate betting North Carolina, but
I knew you were going to do this. But Miami, I know.
But man, Miami after last week.
I knew you were going to do this, Chip.
Oh, you like Miami after that?
No. I like Drake May. I like UNC, but everybody does. And everybody's given the same exact reasoning, which makes me just want to stay away. I feel like North Carolina's going to win by 3. Like, everyone is telling me the same thing. Oh, Miami, how are they going to get back up? Like, I don't know. Maybe they just hate everything now, and then they're going to show everyone that last week was a fluke. And then because college football is BS, they could just say, hey, like, we were supposed to win that game. There was a coaching error, but we won every other game, and here we are. Like, give us a good bowl game. Get us in the playoffs.
Are they good enough to do that?
No, but this would be a good start, being the second best quarterback, in the league. I'm just saying, this is a big one. 3.5 every Chip. I was hoping you just had anything else. But everybody's telling me, oh, how's Miami going to bounce back? I don't know. They were undefeated, and they should have won that game. I don't know.
But they didn't. They choked. That was the worst loss I've ever seen.
Yes, I agree. But with the NFL, that matters. With college, you could just say, oh, it was a fluke loss.
How does a coach say it was a fluke loss when the loss was his fault?
No, not the coach. I'm just saying, like, the committee, like when they're deciding, you say, oh, like, it wasn't the actual team. You know what I'm trying to say?
You think they're gonna like get back in it and win the ACC? Maybe
I'm just saying there's motivation for them. It's not like they lost and it's over. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's not like they
No.
got
I'm
by
not
40
saying the
points.
season's over. I'm just saying they're not beating Carolina.
I'm just saying there's motivation for them. If they come back and they beat North Carolina, last week is a fluke. It's over. Like, it doesn't matter. It's one loss. It's not even a loss. It's a fake loss. And we can move on as if we're undefeated in college land. In NFL, you can't do that. Like, yo, you are what your record says. Just shut up. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. And we move on.
I don't know. I think it's harder in college because if you lose one game in college, then it's over if you lose another one.
But you can
In
argue.
the NFL,
You can argue it. Is just the point I'm making.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you, John. It's one of those weird things that you really only find in college football where you can like argue wins and losses where you can't in any other sport. It's a weird phenomenon, but it does happen in college. And you kind of convinced me on it a little bit about how if you're gonna lose a game, losing a game with a 100% win percentage and having the worst loss possibly in college football history in a regular season game, in sports history, in regular season game. I mean, that's the way to do it against Georgia Tech at home early in the season. Like, yeah, I guess your season's technically not over. I just don't know how you get up as a team. I just don't know how you get up off the mat after that. You're answering questions all week. The headlines all week are about how it was just a blunder of a lifetime. People second guessing you. The coach should have done this. The player should have done that. UNC is my third and final best bet. I think UNC has been criminally underrated all season, flying under the radar. I think they absolutely kill Miami.
USC? Oh, UNC.
UNC. I think 3.5 is a ridiculous line. I think they're going to win by 2 touchdowns. And to your point, John, if you're going to lose a game, losing a game like Miami did last week is better than losing by 20 points. I think there's a shot they lose by 20 points this week. I think UNC is just head and shoulders better than Miami. Miami hasn't really played anyone.
No, I agree with you. I'm just
they
scared.
Still end up losing.
I'm just scared of it because everyone is so on the same page about last week.
Yeah. You talked me out of it a little bit. You convinced me that it wasn't like if you're going to lose a game, that's maybe the way you want to lose it. Yeah. I'm with you on that. My last 7:00 game here, though, fellas, is Notre Dame minus 2.5.
Love it.
I think they bounce back. I know the season.
Does a line kind of affect your narrative here?
Yes.
What I mean by that is like if Notre Dame was plus 7 and 6.5, I would
should be plus. Notre Dame should be plus 8.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so it does affect your thinking too.
Yes, 100%.
Of course. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Like Vegas knows something. People know something that I don't know. So instead of being a sucker and taking USC plus 2.5, I'm just gonna trust the nerds in Las Vegas did their homework, and I'm just gonna take Notre Dame minus 2.5. I think they bounce back. They're at home. It's a big time game. You fumbled away the season last week against Louisville somehow. So now is your turn. Now's your chance to play spoiler. Let's go take down the Heisman candidate. Let's go take down, one of the top teams in the country. Let's go take down the team that's getting the most shine, the most this, the most that, and let's just play spoiler and win this game. That's why I'm going with Notre Dame. And to your point, John, the line just makes absolutely no sense.
Makes no sense, man. And speaking of a team that should have no motivation, Notre Dame should have literally no motivation. And
it's a rivalry game. It's a rivalry game.
True.
They want to beat SC.
Yeah, they want to beat SC, but they lost the heartbreak. Like they have no chance for the chip. It's over, and they're an independent school. They don't have a conference. And
but if they win out, if they somehow win out, they're Notre Dame. They're still going to get like a great bowl game if they go like 10-2 somehow.
Yeah, they might get a Rose Bowl. Was it Rose Bowl championship? Actually, I don't want to misspeak. Is it champion this year? I know they alternate.
I don't know.
If it's not the Rose Bowl equivalent, and let's go Rangers with the first goal of the year. Let's go. Good start versus Sabres. I love it.
Huge.
All right, Lafreniere. Let's go. We're back. Rangers to the cup. All right. What else you guys got for me? I'll just go. Last one I got is UCLA plus 3.5. Greg, I know you have some thoughts about UCLA. Chirping me first quarter, chirping me at halftime, silence after the game.
Did you watch the game? Were you able to watch it? Like I can't. I wasn't able to watch it.
I did not watch it at all. I was out during that time. I had a wedding to go to, so I didn't.
I was following on Twitter because that's all you can do on these Pac-12 network games. It's ridiculous.
Pac-12 network.
And it wasn't on TV. I
Joke.
heard, yeah, so it wasn't great.
No wonder they're going out of business. Freaking,
I
they
think
don't
it's
even have
probably-
a channel.
Yeah.
It's tough. I know. It's
Dante
tough.
Moore though, John. If you get the Bowman Chrome, the college football cards just came out this week. Dante Moore's in there. You can get it. Start betting your stock early.
I already got Dante Moore on Mojo, bro. I literally got his stock going. But I like them plus 3.5. I don't love this game. Oregon State, I'm still scared of them. Everyone's telling me they're really good. I've been watching them. They are really good. I just love UCLA. I think they have one of the best edge rushers in the league. The only problem is his prior injury history. So that's like an NFL talk, draft talk for later. He's a beast. Tula's a beast. Dante Moore's a beast. Give me UCLA plus 3 in the hook. Last bet of the day.
I'm with it. I got nothing late night.
Chip, close us off here.
Duke -3 against NC State.
Is Riley
coming
playing?
off a bye after? I think so.
I thought he was hurt.
I thought I read he was healthy.
Okay, you would know. I just stayed away because I know he's been hurt. Last thing I saw was status unclear but positive outlook.
Oh,
high
yeah,
ankle sprain.
Positive outlook. I'm pretty sure he's
not
gonna
great.
play. It
All
looks
right.
like he's gonna play, right?
I don't know. I'm not trying to bet a spread like that on and especially if they think he might be out, I'd rather just wait and the line will move dramatically if he actually is out.
Maybe.
I would rather him be out and then I'll take Duke kind of deal rather than assume he's gonna play because he's definitely not gonna be 100%. So that line's right now factoring in he's playing. I don't like that, but you do you. I love Duke this year, so I don't hate it.
Yeah, I like Duke a lot. I like him coming off the bye too, and
That's a good
also the under in Missouri and Kentucky. I think that's gonna be really sloppy. Missouri lost a heartbreaker last week, and Kentucky just got steamrolled at Kentucky. I don't really. Both those teams are going to be out of sorts. I may actually take under first half. I think that could be a really sloppy start, but under first half, I think it's going to be a low scoring game. Kentucky always plays low scoring games at home, so I think that'll be low scoring.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for me and us at Winning Picks Weekly for Week 7 of the college football slate. We said we didn't have a large card. I think picks-wise we didn't, but I think this is our longest episode we've ever had this year. So, funny how that works out. Big Week 7 slate for us. Let's get it, man. Let us know what you got. Hit us up on Knicks, Jets, etc. period on our YouTube. We got the Jets. We got the full gambling slates on Winning Picks Weekly, Winning P Weekly on Twitter X, Chip Murphy 7, Twitter X. Hit us up. Let us know what you got. We out.